My name is Sarah Mabla D'Souza, and on this episode of My Community, we are in the community of Adaklu Hehekpoe in the Volta region. We're here to look at the works of Adanu. It's an organization, a non-governmental organization, Ghanaian organization for that matter, assisting communities. We're here to look at their works in the Adaklu Hehekpoe Salvation Army Basic School. So join me and let's enjoy this episode. The Adaklu Hehekpoe Salvation Army Basic School was established in 1978. It has a pupil population of about 224. Here, pupils learn under trees and structures, which leaves them at the mercy of the weather. In 2011, a Ghanaian-led non-governmental organization, Adanu, came in to help. Adanu works with rural and underdeveloped communities to create and establish sustainable solutions for education and equal opportunities for all people regardless of age, gender, or economic status. Their work is based on empowerment instead of charity. At Hehekpoe, they began with a urinal facility. In 2015, they began and completed the kindergarten block and playground. So the things we see here are all crafts that these kids have managed to put out. We have motorbikes, we have slippers, we have a building, a mailing machine, yeah. A mailing machine. Anyway, Robert, please join me. These crafts are also are these things that the school took initiative to teach the kids, or some of your volunteers came over to teach them?
I think it's a combination of both. The school and the teachers took initiative because they have this art and craft festival and they have to go and compete and win an award. And so the kids are encouraged also to create some of this. Besides that, when our volunteers come and they engage them in drawing, because most of the times when they're on the ground, activities we design are more creative oriented. And so it begins to tickle their mind that they have that skills to also be creative, and all the things that we use from the Western world, they could also learn and know how to do it right here in the community. And so, and as you see from what we have here, these are a few of local materials that the kids have put into. Yeah. So you have the aeroplane.
I also saw the I don't know what name to give it, but like a music wall.
That's the name. It's called a music wall. And so what we did also was that, again, one of our major donors, Shirley Moss, she funded all these projects here, and she brought from her kitchen obsolete tools that she was no more using, and said, Robert, we could create a music wall for the kids, so when they come during break time, they have a stick there. We have a bucket with different sticks. The kids go and hit it, and each provide different sound. And as they begin to hear the sound, then they begin to encourage themselves to go into music and use the instrument as they sing. And so that's just a music wall.
I see. Okay, so we will have one of the kids play, so we can see exactly what the music wall is supposed to do and what it is doing for these children. In 2016, the school had a library.
Forest. The cat runs and the girl plays with the dog. This is the dog. The boy. Look at the boy. The boy likes to play with the cat. Boys like cats.
And tell me, how many of these do you have?
So we have 6 libraries. We have one in Hehekpoe, we have one in Mafi Bokope, we have one in Luvudo, we have one in Kpejetoje, we have one in Atijive. We just commissioned one in Andochinu, and then the 7th one is ongoing in the Pogaji community.
Okay. Why the libraries? Because from what I saw on social media, it was mainly school structures and all.
So Adanu, I've realized over the years that yes, we build schools, and the schools make students come to school. Teachers are willing to come and teach in that school. But then the most important piece of the school support is to provide academic excellence to the student. And we realize that reading has been a problem in our schools. And so as a follow-up project in all the communities that we've worked in, we are now building libraries to encourage kids to read, and that goes a long way to affect all the other subjects that they study at school.
I realize that, yes, the library here has electricity, and also we are enjoying the fan and the lights. How is this place managed? Do they come during school hours? Do they come after school? How is it managed?
So, again, based on our model where the community is always engaged on the programs that we implement, they come to the library during school hours based on their individual library on the school timetable. And then after that, when they close from school, they have another session in the evening from 7 to 9 p.m. And so the teachers have designed a timetable where each class get an opportunity to come to the library and study in the library. And so parents allow their kids to come over here. And that is why all the libraries that we build, they have light in it for kids to come back and...
How do you pay for the electricity? Does the school take care of it, or Adanu does that?
No, again, community empowerment. PTA dues goes to pay for the electricity. That's we provide at the libraries. And so Adanu try as much as possible to provide the structures for the community, lobby for both Ghanaian books and foreign books, but then the school manages the library where light bills are taken care of.
Okay. A clear indication of community help is I'm seeing something like a community help project with external support.
Exactly. And so over the years, again, our model is where we engage and then the community participate on every project. And so this library that we currently see and all the other libraries that we have around, the community provide free labor services, i.e. masons, carpenters, steel burners, painters, the electrical works. They provided all that. Adan only brought in the cement, the roofing sheet, the iron rod, the nails, and the paint. And then the MP and the district assembly also came in with the sand and the chippings And then together we designed a model where the community formed a working committee, and then we built this project. This took us 2 months to complete, and the fact that the parents volunteered their time on the building, it goes to encourage their kids to come and use the library.
So we'll continue to look around and have a look at the Adanu model and probably encourage others to implement, come and learn and use it. Yes, so this is still my community. The school has a garden and an ongoing parent-led feeding program, all from the Adanu initiative. So the next 15 years, how do you think, how does that look like?
For the next 15 years, we have been able to nurture our unique model of bringing about development into our communities. And so we want to see that model being replicated across Ghana, and we want to see that model being taken to many more places, because for us, for the past 15 years, that model has worked for us. We don't see ourselves kicking against the model. We rather want to improve upon it, and we want to see ourselves in the next 15 years being a model for other up-and-coming charity organizations to emulate and to learn from.
If it's possible that young guys could be in a group and they could make an impact in a community, then why not? It's possible that I could also do such a thing. So eventually I said, fine, let me join and let's see how we'll get the work going.
And you haven't regretted ever since?
Not at all. I have not regretted. And I'm actually glad, because I've actually studied construction in the Polytechnic and the university. And I'm using the knowledge that I've acquired to help my organization and in building these communities. That's very great.
Community participation cannot be overemphasized. Some leaders of Hehekpoe spoke to us. So I'm here with Ayi Manase, one of the community leaders in this community of Adaklu Hehekpoe. Mikpobe Adanu. I'm a to over to Okpere Miao, Mionto Hami wood, MP ha wood, me call to Suku boy. Na KGVO me wo any Makpo library ha laka na tag blocho Adanu ba dowo now le area ya me
oh nyate fe tola Adam fe do na ola enye abobore ke mi po jijolo fe do won ela bana mi nu eku ova mi agbo be yo jiwe yo apere mi an mi a atusuku ho de aleke mi aviole atite abe ke vala ekpo de viole atite aha ta ofa be yo akpere mi atu ehonami ke mi on to la mi awo asido ke awebe eho atu nyatepe odi mensino eyo kenye dola carpenter o eyo ke oji ocho mi adome mi on to mbo mi aten awe ke mi wa mi kpogo mele keji me ke mp pere mi an elo kenami elokpe kunami enye nu ke dojijo nami ke mi we mi tu keji vai mi ga eji mi tu library fifi abai ke va ekpo be mi le 6 unit 2 ya nya dan ko do na yo ke wole mi adu le ekpe yo kenye enu mekpo wonu hare ke godo nu wa ga yiji e be mi wu suku ho hongwe ade ke tu la numiele e ka ba ado jona mi to ba dam la do ganda wala mi adome.
Okay, so Manasseh is saying that he's excited about the works of Adanu here in the community of Adaklu Hehekpoe. He says that they came in, helped them with a KG block, and helped them with the library. He says that they are constructing a 6-unit classroom block that's for the primary section. He is appreciative of the fact that even though the Adanu group, they don't come from here, they have come to assist them. He is also telling me that the MP also assisted them with sand to construct, or to sand to build the 6-unit classroom block, the nursery and the library as well. Benny Sasigbe, she's the queen of all the women in this community.
Mil la popo ba la ngoyi mi la ngoyi po la nu sron ya
le mokan
agban la sosron alo duko po ngoyi adesku adoro ngogbe viela mi po ba ke adam to vala mi tekli na da o mse sala da ko mi la mako mi desu po ye kwa me le vevie doyo ko mi atasi kake fifie enu ekotutu library yan agbala o ko agbala cheva library ni mia mi po mi avio fin wa we de sere la o la nu suru wa tan agbolonya l'english me vivi ke atan asam ke mi ko bala adam to ba kado do plimila mi ko bala ela ngoyi.
What she's saying is that she's realized that the people of the group Adanu is really supporting them. She says since they came into the community, the kids are interested in education. In the evening, you see them going to the library to read. She's saying that even the kids are speaking English. They are more interested in education than they used to be. And she thinks that that's a good thing for the community.
We can't hear you. When you're a teacher and you don't eat, you can't teach. You can't teach. That's what you're saying. Okay, any other? Whose point first do you think is strong? Is a stronger point? Godwin. Why do you think Godwin's point is a stronger point?
Because when a teacher has not taught the farmer cannot produce.
So, yes, let's go.
The farmer cannot produce some of his products well.
So, you have the view that if a teacher doesn't teach a farmer, the farmer will not be able to produce much. That's what you're saying. Yes. Okay, that's a nice point. Yes, any other? Any other? Any other? Any other? Just
some pupils still learn under trees.
Why do you think Godwin's point is the strongest? Davi, talk la.
A 6-unit classroom block is, however, under construction.
Okay, open to page 15. Page 15. Are you there? Are you there?
We were told the Member of Parliament for the Adaklu constituency, Kwame Agboja, is a big contributor to this project.
Well, I don't come from a very rich background or anything. I believe the only reason the people of Adaklu have given me an opportunity to lead them, by the way, I'm not the most educated, I'm not the richest, I'm not the most handsome either, is because I've acquired some education, thanks to my parents and all those who helped me. It gives me the impression that the only way others can do better than me, not necessarily becoming the members of parliament or anything, but the critical mass of human resource that we need to develop our community, teachers, the nurses, the doctors, the engineers, the farmers, everything, is to support, to give them education. Indeed, when Adaklu was created, constituency was created in 2012, as you may be aware, one of the things I noticed was the lack of output in education, and that was traced to the infrastructure and then the availability of teachers and other things. Indeed, the first thing we thought we could do was to see how we could help. So indeed, the first school that we helped build was almost completed in 2012, but was handed over in 2013. So I started putting in my personal resources into that. That community is Hehave, but it was a different NGO who helped us. And indeed, we said to ourselves, we would invest as much as possible in education, because you see, once we are able to address the issue of education, everything else falls in place. Even if it's about sanitation, education is required. If it's about healthcare, education is required. If it's about even how to give people the ability to develop something that can give them income, you need a form of education. So we thought, at least, let's give our backing to education. If we're able to address that significantly, then we know that we have achieved something which should trigger other positive things in the community. So at the time we started, I would say a lot of the schools were going on under trees. They didn't have the education infrastructure. And we were lucky to come into contact with two NGOs, and God bless those who started Adanu. It used to be DVOG, the Disaster Volunteers of Ghana, and then Pencils of Promise. They have been our biggest partners in terms of our quest to lift the output of education in Adaklu, especially in the area of infrastructure, and in other cases, even the provision of retraining models for some teachers in Adaklu. If I tell you that the Ministry of Education is currently trying to bring handheld gadgets like to some schools, we have been doing that for almost 2 years now through an NGO. So there are schools in Adaklu that only use handheld, their textbooks and everything on portable. Oh yes, exactly. So, and I think that was why we decided to get into this. So, if you went to Adaklu, you will notice that majority of the 4.6% of the common fund, which is allocated to the MP of Adaklu, this year, that amount is about 220,000 Ghana cedi. You will notice that it's not even up to the value of 1 6-unit classroom block. Yeah. But by the close of this year, I suspect we would have done maybe 3 more schools, because the idea is that the NGOs only come and say, we should pay 20% of the cost of the project. So the 20% is the sand and the chippings and the community labor. So we meet the community, we say, this is the offer we have got. Are you ready? They say yes. So I front load by providing the sand and the chippings, and then the NGO start work and the community provide community labor. So within 3 months or 4 months, it's almost like almost every 3 months or so, we're able to complete a school. As we speak, we are starting another school on the 16th of December. If I were to take you to that community today, it is pathetic, but I am sure within 3 months, we are going to have a brand new 3-unit classroom with a store in that community. That is how far we've been taking this.
Why so much? I'm afraid, I feel when we've been neglecting some certain things because we want to really focus everything on education.
Well, Adaklu has been allocated 220,000 Ghana cedi as MP Common Fund, and I always say that this information must be available to members of the community. If the citizens that you represent don't even know how much resource comes to you, you are unable, you are not going to be able to manage their expectation. Apart from that, the NHIS gives us about 50,000 cedis, which should be used for healthcare infrastructure, and then Get Fund gives us about 50,000. So both the Get Fund and the Common Fund are put together. So in all, about 300,000 Ghana cedi a year, which is equivalent to only 1 6-unit classroom block. We cannot afford to build only 1 6-unit classroom block and stay there. But then we don't only stop at education. Apart from the infrastructure, we do help some in terms of paying of fees and other things. We have done this for 4 years, and we've noticed there's a gap in it. We are paying school fees for some people. We are not even able to track whether they're actually doing well or even using the money appropriately. So together with the health director, we are going to outdoor an education scholarship scheme in Adaklu. And this would be such that the District Education Directorate and some community leaders and myself will put together a team of about 5. So if you want to attract support from the MP Common Fund, the MP probably just allocates 10% of or 5% of his receivables to that fund. So you apply to them. So they make the determination as to whether you deserve it or you need it. And I believe it will take the pressure off me to directly get involved in determining who gets scholarship or not, because and they can demand that bring your results slip of the last semester or last term for you to benefit from others. We do help in other areas. We do help some farmers in a little way because of the size of the money. Yeah. When MP gets 300,000, the assembly itself gets 4.5 million. So it is still a problem that majority of our citizens still look up to the MP to deliver development. Yeah. When MP gets 300,000, it's building schools, and assembly gets 4.5 million, and nobody cares to demand that level of accountability. It's simply because you are the one they voted for. Nobody voted for the DCE. And that is why I think government's push that we should elect district chief executives or MMDCs, I think it's a step in the right direction. that would make MMDC deliver directly to the people, not necessarily only to the president but they will have to be accountable to the people. God willingly, we have been able to attract some help as well from central government, and indeed Assembly also have put in something. So we are not, indeed, we are biased towards education at the moment. We don't want to spread ourselves so thinly.
Adaklu has worked in 62 communities, 12 districts in the Volta region, and implemented the following projects: classroom blocks, library blocks with books and shelves, tables and chairs, computer labs, community radio, scholarships, playgrounds, wash and sanitation facilities.